Hello you fantastic people and welcome back to Borderlands 3. I hope you guys are all doing well. In this video we're going to go over the dedicated drop rates of the Unkempt Herald after 1,000 farms on Mayhem 10 level 60 with our boy Flack here. We're going to go over the dedicated drop location, how to get there, who to farm, the easiest way to farm it. We're also going to show you guys the elemental variants, the drop rates, the damage numbers, the anointments you guys want to look out for, all the good stuff. Also going to show some gameplay of our Gamma Burst Flak running through with some god rolls so you guys can see how much damage this thing is going to put out. It is a lot of fun using this weapon in Borderlands 3. So to start with, if you guys want to farm this one for yourselves, like I said, it's a DLC 3 weapon. You're going to need to have DLC to farm it or obtain it whatsoever. First, go to Gehenna, I think is how you pronounce it. It's the DLC 3 planet, at least. The Bloodstone Canyon is the place to be in this DLC. There are so many crew challenges and bosses in general. The place is quite large. You'd think it'd just be this, but it's not. There's the whole thing. There's two different fast travel stations for this one. You want to go to Presentation Room, and it's a bit of a hike from that location. I'm going to show a run of it on screen, super sped up, so you guys can see if you've never been there before. It does take a little while to get there, and it's kind of confusing the first time you actually go. And if you're looking on the map itself, it doesn't really explain it. So I'll show a quick speed run on screen so you guys can see it if you've never been there. You can also obtain the Unkempt Herald in the world drop system for DLC 3, which is great. You can get it from any like rare chest as well as any main boss in the DLC itself. For example, the final boss in the DLC is a fantastic place to farm world drop legendaries. It won't drop as often as the dedicated drop location, but it's a great place you can multi-farm because you're going to get more world drop legendaries for something like the final boss can drop up to like 8 legendaries per farm versus Dowd, which is a lot less than that. But yeah, let's get into these stats for you guys. We're going to have some clips showing on screen of us running through Athenas on Mayhem 10 level 60 with our Gamma Burst build with a whole bunch of great Unkempt Heralds. They're not god rolls by any means, but they're just elemental variants with Gamma Burst Anoint or a URAD Anoint as well. If you're wondering why we downed every once in a while, it's because I'm using a front loader on a build that's not supposed to use a front loader. I just put it on so we could try out both Gamma Burst Radiation Unkempt Herald with a URAD Radiation Unkempt Herald. So we see what the comparison is there for you guys. But yeah, let's get into the stats. After 1,000 farms of the Unkempt Herald on Mayhem 10 level 60, we got 310 heralds total. There's two different variants for these. Is the gratifying as well as the shredding Unkempt Herald. The difference between the two is whether or not it comes with a ×3 or ×4 pellet count variant. It actually makes no difference in the actual game using the weapon because regardless of which one you shoot, it will split out to 7 projectiles in a horizontal line. So it makes absolutely zero difference. I would actually recommend you guys going for the ×3 variant because it comes with a higher base damage than ×4's drop with. I'm not sure if that's intentional, whether or not that's a bug or whatever, but currently in the game, they shoot 7 projectiles regardless, so go for those ×3s, which is actually a great thing because after 310 heralds dropped, 184 of those were ×3 variants, whereas only 126 were ×4 variants, which is a 59 versus 41% split. Which is really good because that means we can get higher damage numbers easier. Now this farm is fairly simple. It's extremely close to the new station. The guy usually only has a health bar, sometimes spawns with a shield, but realistically doesn't come with that much health. His attacks are quite weak. There are a few other mobs in the arena / just area with him as well. They can be kind of annoying. But other than that, the farm itself is very quick, particularly if you're on a PC. Honestly, you could probably do the loop in all of like 45 seconds. I haven't actually timed it, but probably around about there. So very efficient farm. Hence, there's a very high unsuccessful run drop rate, which essentially means however many runs we got that didn't drop a singular legendary weapon. Out of 1,000 farms, Mayhem 10 True Vault Hunter mode as well, level 60, we got 556 unsuccessful runs, which is super high. But to be honest, it's a crew challenge boss. They very rarely drop world drops. They're not supposed to drop a bunch of world drops because they're very easy bosses comparatively. And the dedicated drop rates with only one dedicated weapon in his loot pool, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest. But yeah, if you guys are going to run this yourselves, just kind of expect a 55 to 56% unsuccessful run drop rate. As for world drops, after 1,000 runs, we got 141 world drop legendary weapons. That includes DLC 3 weapons as well as regular base game world drop weapons as well, which is great to see that world drops from the base game drop in here as well, which is really good because in other DLCs that isn't the case. Now, as for the good stuff, the elemental unkempt heralds are the definite best ones you guys want to go for. As flak, realistically, you can't do that much damage. Maybe in mobbing situations you can use unelemental ones. Maybe as modes with so much splash damage you could get them to rock. But elemental variants are definitely stronger in this game, so I'd highly recommend you guys going for those. But they are super rare, unfortunately. The split is 142 elemental variants of the Unkempt Herald out of the 310 total versus 168 non-elementals. AKA 54% of the time an Unkempt Herald drops, it's going to be non-elemental. Versus there is 46% chance of it being elemental, and that's split between all 5 different elemental variants that are in this game. So if you guys are looking for a particular elemental type to drop at a particular high base damage, at a particular anointment, it's going to take a while. Hence the name of the video is 1000 farms of the Unkempt Herald, because I've spent many days farming this guy to try and get some great god rolls for my builds. I do have some good news though in terms of elemental variants. The split between them doesn't seem to be a huge variance, which is great because in most of these videos that I have made in the past, there seems to be one in particular element that just doesn't want to drop for me. For example, I farmed countless king/queen's calls from Tyrene, and the shock one never wants to drop for me, ever. So it's really good to see that the split themselves between the elemental variants isn't that high. For example, out of 142 elemental drops, fire dropped 25 times, corrosive dropped 29 times, radiation dropped 31 times, cryo dropped 24 times, and shock dropped 33 times. So the biggest variance is between shock and cryo, only 9 difference in drop rates, which is pretty good. So those being all very close together means that the dedicated drop rates for each elemental variant is very similar. You guys could just as likely get, say, 33 cryo and 24 shock being the other way around. For you guys, it's just going to drop around about that much out of 1,000 runs. These dedicated drop rates are not guaranteed for you guys. You could have slightly less, you could have slightly more. It is just a ballpark figure for you guys. You can expect heralds to drop around about 31% of the time when you farm Dowd, or however you pronounce it. But yeah, these are a ballpark estimate for you guys rather than an exact figure. Now, seeing as I farmed this guy so many times, I picked up the best of the best variants for you guys, so you can see how much damage you can get on each particular one. The elemental variant damage, as well as the anointments and stuff that you can get on these weapons. So the highest damage number I have seen dropped, please correct me if you guys have found a better one in the comment section down below. I'd love to keep farming for it. But 12.9 thousand times 3 is the strongest Unkempt Herald I have found. That is of course a non-elemental variant because it is not including elemental damage as well. That one came with 100% ASC, which is very, very nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't keep up with the lack of elemental damage, but if you guys can get that on an elemental variant, that is going to be an absolute god roll. The highest base damage elemental variant I've managed to find out of all these runs is a corrosive one with 10,330 times 3 plus another 10,304 damage per second of corrosive damage with 25% chance. Is considerably higher than a 12.9k non-elemental variant. So that's why they do so much damage if you manage to find those ones. It's probably why they're so rare as well. But yeah, so many great rolls in here, so many elemental variants. 200% ASA is fantastic for Fade Flak. 100% ASC is great as well. Sentinel Cry, of course, for Zane. Amara, honestly, just any of the ones, depending on what action skill you're using. Moze, this extra splash damage, can't imagine how much fun Moze mains are having in this DLC. So many of them do splash damage. But yeah, that is everything I have for 1000 farms on Mayhem 10 level 60 of the Unkempt Herald, all the dedicated drop rates, everything you guys need to know for this farm. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to smash subscribe down below. Hit that like button if you want, and you can share it as well. That would be awesome. If you guys want to check us out over on Twitch, I'll be live streaming tonight. I live stream every night just after I post my YouTube videos, playing some more Borderlands 3, trying to finish up my fadeaway flag build. That'd be awesome. And yeah, it'd be cool to see you guys over there. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I shall see you guys next video and I'll live stream. Till then, adios.